Do you feel like the more you make, the more you spend? You used to think all I need to do is make six figures and I will be set, but you still feel behind and have nothing to show for it, though you're making more money than ever. This is one of the biggest challenges my best students face. So today I'm going to share exactly what's happening in this vicious cycle and what to do to break it, including key questions you want to ask yourself to start making progress toward the financial freedom and generational wealth you want to create for you and your family today. Now, the quickest way for you to get insight on your spending in particular is actually to book a complimentary call with me so that I can put my eyes on your situation and give you customized feedback on what's going to help you make progress. So go ahead and use the information in the description to pick your spot today. A simple call like this is exactly where students like Jennifer started. In the beginning, she was like, Jacent, I need help with budgeting, paying down debt, pretty much everything. She felt stuck because she had tried budgeting templates, tools, apps, and could not figure it out. We ended up chatting, inevitably working together, and was able to help her get amazing results. She was able to go from having like over 40 subscriptions for different shopping places to saving her emergency fund, paying off over $20,000 in debt in just the first few months of joining our community. Not to mention, because of the choices that she made and this path of abundance that she was on, she was actually able to step away from work as a nurse. She had a regular job, y'all. She wasn't making $1 million a year. And took time to visit her home country in Kenya to serve and speak into the lives of 3,000 people, all within the first 12 months of being in our community. Like I mentioned, she wasn't making $1 million a year. She's a nurse, making a good salary, but also making some serious money management mistakes. So it's easy to say avoiding the 3 pitfalls in this make more, spend more trap is key to getting the results you're after. First things first, lifestyle inflation. Let's talk about it. Lifestyle inflation, also known as lifestyle creep, it's when your spending increases as your income goes up. You might start buying more expensive things or splurging on luxuries because you feel like you can afford them now, whereas you couldn't before. The more insidious cycle is all the little random unplanned things you justify spending on that end up adding up, right? So it's the trip to the gas station and Target and the dollar store and on Amazon that kind of end up being like death by 1,000 cuts. Here's the catch. This can quickly get out of hand and snowball into thousands and thousands of dollars frivolously spent on items that aren't aligned with your vision and actually could have otherwise been, the building blocks for your financial future. So try this instead. Assess the last 1 to 3 months of your spending. And on one hand, you're going to see where did the money go? Because this is going to give you insight into what you value, what you spend your money on, and, essentially what adjustments you might be able to potentially make. But you also want to see if there are any patterns connected to your mental and emotional state and your spending. Were there times that you were stressed that you ended up spending more? Or do your hormones affect how you spend? Relationships or your spiritual walk, right? And you're looking for these patterns to help you become empowered with this information to make changes that will help empower you in your future financially. If you notice patterns, I would love to hear about it. Go ahead and comment lifestyle inflation and share what patterns you recognize and how this might be affecting you right now. Number 2, it's Parkinson's law. Oh, Parkinson's law. Now, this principle states that work expands to fill the time allotted to complete it. Similarly, your expenses will rise to match, sometimes even exceed your income if you're not careful. It's this sneaky trap that will keep you from saving and investing for the future. So when we talk about the nearly 50% of people making 6 figures who are living paycheck to paycheck, this is one of the big reasons why they're spending all that they're making and sometimes even more than they're making, and it's keeping them from being able to get off of this hamster wheel. Try this instead. Decide how much you need to live on to hit your financial goals, keeping in mind that the only way to build wealth is to live on less than you make. Why? Because you need margin to make progress. if your margin is being eaten up, right? No pun intended, because food is one of the biggest spending budgets that people blow. But like, if your margin is being consumed, then you don't have the space to create the wealth that is going to make it easier for you to be able to retire. Dare I say, retire early, create the generational wealth that you dream of, and live your best life. Now, this does not mean that you don't get to upgrade your lifestyle as your income has increased. Don't let, black or white, all or nothing thinking get in the way of you being able to design a strategic plan to enhance the quality of your life in ways that make sense, but make sure you are being intentional about it. And that leads us to number 3. And then there's self-sabotage. Sometimes without even knowing it, we make decisions that undermine our financial goals. It's crucial to recognize these patterns and break free from them. Self-sabotage can look like so many different things. It can look like creating a plan and then not creating any systems or getting support to help you ensure that you follow through with this plan to the best of your ability, right? Self-sabotage can look like, making certain choices about your finances and then switching them at the drop of a hat because of how you feel in the moment, right? Self-sabotage looks like not doing the work. And I'm not exempt. I'm not going to sit here and say that. But you have to figure out what that looks like for you. And there's a great book called The Big Leap that could help you recognize how, in the book it talks about upper limiting, like how you're upper limiting yourself and holding yourself back from being the version of you that has everything that you want. Try this instead. Do you believe you deserve the financial freedom and independence that you desire? Do you believe you're worth what you want? You can say that you want something consciously, but have some subconscious disagreement with it. That there's a misalignment with what you say you want and what you believe is possible for you. Asking for something without the ability to receive it is going to hinder how quickly it can show up in your life. You can really only receive as much as you're willing to heal. So how do we break this cycle now that we kind of know some of the major things getting in our way? We've got 3 action items that hopefully help you to be able to get clear today on how to move forward. First things first is setting clear financial goals. So we can say, oh, well, I want to have financial freedom, but what does that mean on paper? Literally write down what your goals are as clearly as you can possibly think of them. How much money do you want to pay down? How much do you want to save? How much do you think you want or need to retire? What is it that you would like to leave to your children? Like getting really clear on paper, on purpose, what your financial goals are is going to help you to be able to reverse engineer those goals. Now, there's 3 components to this piece: strategy, systems, and support, right? And so the strategy is to get clear on your goals, and the ability to do that helps you to reverse engineer what that looks like, because there's the tactical stuff as far as like budgeting and tracking and assessing like where the money has been going, which we talked about. But then there's also going to be the systems that you put in place that act as a safety net to ensure your success, like insurance, right? It mitigates risk when we're not relying on how we feel to save money or to pay down our debt, because a system is there to help make sure that we execute, essentially, right? So, when you get clear on what those goals are, you reverse engineer how to get to them. And there might be multiple paths, if that makes sense, to get to those goals. And then you want to get the systems and the support that is going to help you make sure that this happens. What are some options as far as systems go? Number 2, when we're talking about, action steps, systems look like automating your savings. Systems look like being able to, put a calendar date, a money date in your calendar with reminders that repeat every month or however often you decide to do them, so that it's not like, oh, well, I'm going to look at my money in here and there and whenever I feel like it, because if you rely on feeling like things, it's probably not going to get done, okay? And then support, number 3, which is getting your version of accountability, because those who have accountability in the form of a meeting with someone who knows what their goals are increase their success to over 90%. So why would you not make your success inevitable by getting this one thing in place? That's when we go back to self-sabotage. Because if we know what's going to help us succeed and we don't do it, to me, that is a blatant act of self-sabotage. So like I just mentioned, right, getting clear on your goals is really key, as clear as you possibly can. This is why you want to book a time to chat with me, because I'll probably help you get even more clear than you already are. Believe me, it literally has happened thousands of times. You also want to make sure that you create the strategy, which is that first thing, get the systems in place, and have some form of support, whether it's your partner, your best friend, your clergy, you get a coach, your business partner. I don't know who it is, but you need to figure it out so that you can ensure your success with money. Remember, breaking free from this cycle is a journey, not a sprint. So it's about making consistent, smart choices over time. Now, like I mentioned, the quickest way for you to get insight on, exactly what's going on with your spending and have a specifically tailor-made plan for how to make progress today, you'll want to use the information in the description to book a complimentary call with me. I'd love to chat with you, hear more about your journey, and, weigh in and give you some insight that will be helpful. If you enjoyed this video, then you may want to check out When You Become a High-Earning Woman, Here's What to Do. And I appreciate you being here, spending some time with me. I'm so excited to see you in the next video. Bye.